Okay, so let's sort of flip the foreground and the background here. What are the benefits of having engineers in a security space? What are some things that an engineering background can bring to a security department that people classically trained, if you will, in cybersecurity don't have?
So I actually don't look at it quite that way.
Okay,
Right?
They're more interconnected.
So I believe that engineers are central to our security program.
Okay.
Right? All of our security in our products and services begins with the engineers themselves. At least the way we've organized our practice here, I and my team don't have any actual permissions to change anything. And that's by design.
Mm-hmm.
The guys with the hands-on responsibility for keeping things up and running and for developing these things, they have the responsibility for fixing things. We are here in an advisory capacity to say, here's what the things we found, here's how you fix them, but they need to do them. And so security knowledge has to be baked into engineers from the very beginning. Security and software engineering and DevOps, to me, are like sanitation in medicine is. Everybody has to know how to sanitize their hands and their equipment and their environment, right? So if you've got someone who's a security or a software engineer that wants to go into the security practice because they want to move into that, they add value because they speak the language of the people that we need doing the most fundamental security work. Mm-hmm. And they can bridge that gap because security guys, they don't talk the same way that software development guys do.
Right.
They're not really tuned in to the pressures that a developer has to deliver features. They're not necessarily tuned into how the build and CI/CD process works. And they're learning those, but I hear sometimes myself and other folks on my team or other security researchers saying, why don't you just do this? Because you just fix it by doing this.
Right.
I had a very interesting conversation with O.J. Reeves a few months ago. He's also known as the Colonial. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's responsible for much of the development of the Meterpreter, the Windows Meterpreter version.
Oh, right. Yes, of course.
And he is telling me he's actually got he's live streaming the development of a native CLR implementation of Meterpreter. Mm-hmm. And he's doing that. He's like 50 or 60 hours into it. And he's a wonderful teacher, mm-hmm. Wonderfully articulate man. And he's doing this partially to communicate to the security folks how hard software development actually is, right? The answer to why don't you just do this is we have constraints that you might not be aware of.
Yep.
So he's bringing all that discussion into the live streaming of this new implementation of Meterpreter. I'm very excited about it. I've only watched a few hours of it, but it's great stuff.